Greetings and welcome to the December edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh. I'm your host, John Neiman. So glad that you could join us for this, our holiday show. Also, this is episode 16 of this new series that I started, The Place to Be Oshkosh, which is just a chance for us to spotlight, to highlight different programs, different not-for-profits, different volunteer activities going on in the wonderful community of Oshkosh, which is known as Event City. I really want to start by thanking, especially it's Christmas time, and I want to thank two of the biggest gifts that we got were for this show, and that was COTS, who is one of our sponsors of the show. Could not do it without them and the wonderful work that they do at their transitional housing in Appleton and also now in Oshkosh. And also Karen and her crew at the Oshkosh Herald, which is truly a wonderful community newspaper. It does, as it says, bringing local news home. Also then our set design is by Brian at U Bloom on Witzel. If you've not been there, you have to go during the holidays. His shop is just full of different things, not only floral, but there's also clothes, and there's candy, and there's treats, and there's so many different things. If you're looking for a unique item for the holidays, see Brian at U Bloom. Where can you see our show? Well, you can see our show on Oshkosh Media. If you go to YouTube and just type in Oshkosh Media, it will show up. We're also on Life TV on Spectrum Channel 2. And also then you can see us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. When can you see us? We air 5 of the 7 days of the week for the entire month. So it's great PR for anyone who's on the show to talk about what they do and why they're here. December is like the end of the year, and we always look back at things that have been done, or we look ahead to the future. Blessings. We talk about blessings and how thankful we are. There's so many blessings to talk about. Think about your neighbors too. Think about your neighbor next door. Are they by themselves? Do you talk to them? Do you see them? Do you see their mail piling up? There's so many things that we can do in our day and age to interact with our neighbors and our friends and to make someone's day. Give them a Christmas card, shovel their sidewalk, bring them over a meal, help out people in need. That's what our country started as, is people all working together for the common good. And the common good, of course, is our community and our people. That's it for my first segment. Stay tuned. After this commercial, we'll be back for our second segment of our holiday edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Welcome back. It's our holiday edition, our December edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh, and I'm your host, John Neiman. I have two special guests with me right now. They're both my interns at our Oshkosh COTS building, and I brought them on because they've been doing so much for us at COTS. I thought it'd be nice for you guys to meet them, to see what they're doing. So we're going to start with Emily. If you want to introduce yourself, talk a little about your background.
Okay, well, my name's Emily. I am a senior at UW Oshkosh. I am going for my bachelor's in social work right now, so I'll be graduating this May. I went into social work because I come from an adopted family. So I myself am adopted. I have siblings that are adopted, and I just thought that it would be perfect for me to go into social work.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't know.
Yeah, fun fact.
That is really cool. So you want to go in there to help more people in specific areas. So are you looking to get a job in a specific area, like a hospital or a clinic, or?
I'm unsure as of right now, but I know that I do want to work with families and help reunite families in any way that's possible. And I know we do that at COTS too.
Very cool. And Beth?
I'm Beth. I'm a senior at Marian University. I also graduate in May. I was interested in the internship at COTS because I'm currently a AODA counselor, and knowing how much those with like drug addiction, mental health are impacted by being homeless. I basically went back for my bachelor's in social work specifically to work with the homeless population.
And that's a noble cause too. And I think what I like on our last show in November, they talked about collaboration. And that's what this is all about. We're talking about collaborating with Marian University, collaborating with UW Oshkosh to help each other out. And you guys started in September. You've had a great internship. Yeah, they're nodding their heads, everybody, and they're smiling because I haven't done the review yet. But it's great to have them here, and because they've experienced COTS kind of like our community has experienced COTS. COTS just opened in April of this year, so it's brand new to the community. And we thought on our table we have some presents. So Santa's been here a little early, and he dropped off some presents. And we thought this is a great time to say thank you to all those people that make COTS what it is, what a wonderful program it is in transitional housing and helping people. So each present's going to talk about a different category of people that we want to thank. So let's go to number one. Number one, we're going to talk about COTS in general. So this is our building located at 1158 North Kohler, right across from Bank First. A wonderful building, and I know everybody's looking at saying, how big? How big? Right now, we're starting out small, and we're utilizing the first floor, and then we hope to remodel and then add more clients. And right now, our residents are men. We'll go to the next slide. This shows you some of the remodeling. It is gorgeous inside. I often think of it kind of like not a college dorm, but a quad or that where everybody has their own room, but yet they get together. So this is the remodeled kitchen and dining room at COTS. We're so grateful and so thankful for all the volunteers that came from the Appleton COTS and the Appleton Ryan community and our community to help put this kitchen together. And then next, everybody has to have a place to play, a place to unwind. This is the rec room. And again, all these items were gifted to us. So whether it's a ping pong table or a pool table or foosball or just to playing some card games, it's a wonderful place for our residents to get to know each other, to hang out, and lots of sunlight in that room. And the next one. This is what a typical room looks like at COTS. Each room does have its own bedroom and its own bathroom. So that's personal for everybody. We also supply them with their pillows, their mattress cover, their sheets, and their blankets because we want it to be something special for them. And so that's really cool. This is the living room. This room's been used quite a bit during the Packer games. Hopefully it will get better. Not COTS. The Packer games hopefully will get better. But it's a nice, big, spacious area for people to go unwind. And you can see how beautiful it is, even with a fireplace. There's also iPads in there so they can, if they're going to school, they can do homework or they can check their emails or things like that. And Oshkosh Area Community Foundation, we want to thank them because they're the ones who helped COTS acquire this funding and acquire the building to give this wonderful present to Oshkosh. So to Carlene and Bill and the crew at Oshkosh Area Community Foundation, thank you very much for working for COTS, working on behalf of COTS, and on giving us the wonderful place that we have at 1158 North Kohler. Perfect. That is great. So, interns, what's present number 2?
Interns.
This is intern Beth. We're going to talk about the interns because I think interns are a gift. So our interns do have their own office, which is nice, and Emily is really happy because all the furnaces were checked, so now we have heat, right? We have heat in the offices. Yeah. But each intern, which I think is cool, basically they cover the whole, you guys cover the whole week at COTS, working 3 days a week and 2 days a week. Let's talk about this, though. Something that Beth started and Emily's helping with, and Emily has revised. What are those boards, and where are they? And what's the purpose?
They're right out in the hallway by the men's bedrooms here. Beth started it. She had put down like different AA, NA meetings, different mental health resources the men can use. And then I went over and made that other board that just reminds them of all their house meetings, different clothes closets at Father Carr's, the St. Phineas bus passes.
And I think what's important is you guys both come from different backgrounds. You have different experiences. So your input is always important. And it was you guys who said, why aren't we putting this right outside the residents' rooms? Because that's where they're going to come out of their room and they're going to see it and they're going to read it. And I think that's truly important instead of putting it in the dining hall, because if they're in the dining hall, they want to eat. They don't want to read. And so this has been really great for us to have. And we add the resources all the time because there's so many different resources going on in Oshkosh. So that's a great project, and it's always going on. More and more things being added to it. State Street Center is on there. That was the topic of our November show. But it's great to have different resources. Not everybody needs the same things. Okay, what's the third one? Actually, I love this. It's like, wow. Okay, near and dear to my heart. The third one is meal ministry. We have a group of dedicated volunteers who bring meals to our residents. So it's one less thing for them to have to worry about, especially because our residents all are working. And so to come home and have a meal, this is our resident Jeremiah. And this is one of the meals that was brought. I can't remember what this one was. Was it hamburgers or was it tacos? I don't know what it was. We have a group of people. Hopefully it's the next slide, I think. Yes, there they are. Who are these people, Emily? Beth, you deal with them, right?
Barb and her husband come every Monday and Wednesday to bring a meal in for the residents to enjoy. It's nice that they can have the option to just make their dinner and eat together in the common space. And
what's interesting about this is Larry loves to cook. So Larry cooks, and the meal is everything you could think of. Everything is there for the meal. And as Beth said, it's Mondays and Wednesdays that they come, and the meals are all different. 4th of July, which happened over the weekend, they came in and brought a traditional picnic meal. They do everything under the sun. So we really could not survive without that. So if anybody is interested in a meal ministry, bringing a meal to COTS, just please, my information's at the end of the screen, or you can call me on my number, 920-279-9873. If you're interested in bringing one meal once a month or one meal once a year, or if you would like to go, grocery shopping for some of our residents. They go through the staples a lot. Beth goes to the Oshkosh Area Community Pantry, and we pick up stuff, and it's always eggs and milk and bread and things like butter, staples like that. But meal ministry is another part of COTS that we do for our residents to make sure that they all have a healthy meal. Like I said, they're all working, and it's a chance for them to sit down together and enjoy the meal, and most importantly, enjoy those leftovers. Okay, what's the next box?
Volunteers.
Okay. We're going to talk about volunteers now. When we started out, we really didn't have any volunteers. We have my wonderful interns, Emily and Beth. We didn't have any volunteers until one day these two lovely ladies knocked at the back door of COTS. And I've utilized them in the past in other places. That's Pam and that's Flossie. And they said they want to come and they want to help. And Beth has been working with them on different projects for them to do, because there's a lot of stuff that we have on the list that we want done, but we just don't have the time to do it all the time. So they've been working on, Pam is an organizer, and that one day she spent the greater part of the day just organizing the pantry and separating all of the foods. They've worked on pictures for the walls. They've worked on different supplies. They've done an awful lot. So if you're interested in volunteering, it's new for us at COTS to bring them into Oshkosh. Again, give us a call. Lourdes Academy, we do have to thank. Lourdes Academy cross-country team under the direction of their coach, Tim Moore, has been coming into our building since we opened, and they've actually just been flushing the drains for us because we're not using the second or third floor right now. We're only on the first floor, and they've been doing that, and that has been a tremendous help for us also. So we had volunteers that come in. One day, a mother and son came in, and they did yard work outside, and they trimmed the bushes, and it was just amazing. So if you're interested in gardening for the spring, plan ahead, or anything like that, just give us a call. We will definitely find something for you to do. I have 2 very creative interns here who can come up with projects for our volunteers definitely to do. Okay, what's our next topic here? Quilts and donors and donations. Here you're going to see 2 pictures of some quilts that were donated to us by the Wisconsin Warmers who work out at the Senior Center. A wonderful volunteer group who make these quilts, and I didn't contact them. They contacted us and said, do you need some supplies for your residents? And we love this because everybody's, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful quilt. Everybody is different on their level of how high the heat should be on, or how cold, or just to have something personal. These quilts are all handmade, and they're made with love, and they were all donated to us at COTS. So each resident gets to take a quilt home with them. So if you're looking to donate stuff, we've had other things donated too. We've had hygiene supplies donated, beauty supplies donated, laundry soap donated. All that helps us out because we are not-for-profit. So if you're looking, especially during the season where it's buy one, get one free, or if you got that Christmas gift from someone that you just don't know what to do with, but you don't want to use it, we'll take it. Donate it to us at COTS. We will definitely put it to good use. And what's our final box? Okay. Our final box is a special project that was started. Appleton COTS does this, and they do it quite well. They take the residents and some volunteers, and they go down College Avenue, and they clean it up, they pick it up. Well, we also started that here in Oshkosh with our downtown care team. And there we are, cleaning up. That's what we do. We take people out. We partner with the State Street Center every Monday and Friday at 8 o'clock. For about an hour, we go downtown. We divide the city into different areas. And then we go downtown and we clean up. Here you can see lots of cigarette butts. But we've seen something else too, because Emily, we were talking about this before. We've seen that the place is cleaner now. Mm-hmm. I think that people maybe are watching us and what we're doing, or they're seeing how clean it is and saying, I should put this in the garbage can. I shouldn't throw it on the ground. And so we have a care team. So if you just want to walk along with us, Mondays and Fridays, feel free to do that. We are going to go out. Emily will give you a report later on to let you know how winter goes. Because it's new for us, and we don't know what the weather is going to be like. But it's time for the COTS residents and volunteers to help give back to the community who has supported us and our programs so very much. So it's called the Downtown Care Team. You always can contact me if you're interested in going down. It's part of a Service Works program out of Riverview Gardens in Appleton. So it's the month of December, and we're talking about COTS and what we're thankful for. I wanted to talk to you guys, because I know I put you on the spot, but talk to me about your perception of COTS, and has that changed since you've been working at COTS, Emily?
I love how independent COTS is, how much it does teach them, and just all about finances, and they really just get to make their own choices. Like, they have all the resources out in front of them that you give them, and like Beth and I supply them with, but we at COTS, you guys just really give them the power to make those own decisions and to learn it themselves.
Did you have a perception of what homeless transition to housing was going to be? Did you have something in your mind, or?
I did not know much. I knew
Okay.
nothing. I knew nothing before I started COTS, so now I've learned a lot.
And that is something true, because we have the day-by-day warming shelter in town, which takes the homeless in day by day, takes their guests in day by day, and COTS does a little more. It gives them a little more freedom, but it helps them out with their programs and getting back on their feet. So speaking of that, Beth, one thing that you've been doing and working with the residents, if you want to talk about, is budgeting, credit scores, things like that.
Yeah, just helping them to learn kind of where their credit stands, helping to pay off maybe debts they didn't even know that they had occurred and are maybe in collections, and just helping to learn how to budget for when they're able to secure new independent housing on their own, to try and avoid, repeat situations where they maybe end up without that stable living environment.
And what I find amazing is that the residents that we have want to do this. They want to know what their credit score is. I don't think a lot of people know what their credit score is. They don't normally know what it is till you go get a car or take out a loan or something, and then you know your credit score. So then Beth will sit with them, and she will go through all of their credit scores, but she'll also look at their credit history to see what's holding their score down. Budgeting. Is budgeting easy?
Sometimes. Some people it's easier than for other people. It's been interesting to work with people to see where their misbudgeting comes from and what they're spending extra on that they're not planning ahead for.
And I agree with that too. It's like if you write down, because on our budgeting process you have to write down your expenses and then your income and see how it evens out. But for some people, it's a $2 to $3 cup of coffee every day. They just think it's $2 to $3, but that's every day for a month. And when you see that total, there you're thinking, well, what can I do with that money that maybe I could make my own coffee at home and not have to spend the money on it. You're also going to start something. You're starting something new with the residents. It's called Financial Peace. You want to talk about that for a second?
It's a Dave Ramsey program. It goes over how to get out of debt, stay out of debt, save your money, create healthy budgeting. It's a 8-week class that the residents can partake in and, just learn more about that financial stability and the importance of managing your income properly.
And I think that's so important. And these are people of all different ages. We have people from age 20 up to age 66 staying with us. And they're all at a different level in budgeting, in financing, in taking care of stuff. And I think it's great. And I really am blessed. I'm not saying this just because we're on TV and it's on tape and they can show it to their teacher. But I am blessed because I've said this before, and I've said it to you, and I've said it to other people. They are very mature interns. And I remember the first time I gave Beth a list of things to do, and I thought, oh, she'll be gone for a couple hours. She was back like in a half hour and had it done. And the same thing with Emily. They can work at their own pace, and they're not afraid to bring up ideas to me on what to do, what will make it better. And I think working with the guys has been great too, because the guys will come and talk to Beth and talk to Emily, and they'll get to know them. And I think that's the cool thing of treating people with respect, which is what we do, and it's part of our program. So we do charge program fees, not rent. And we want to say that we're not just a cheap place for rent. We're a place to help people transition back to where they need to be. And by doing that, we offer them classes in finance and budgeting, organization, things like that, because a lot of people don't have that or don't have those skills. So it really, truly is a wonderful program. Emily, do you want to talk a little about what is Service Works? Because that's something we also do at COTS Oshkosh.
So Service Works is a volunteer program over at COTS. Every week I put a list out of however many men are living with us, so right now, 10 different projects that the men can do around the house, and they can get hours for Service Works. But at 15 hours, the men earn a bike, they get a free bike for life, and then they get free repairs too in Appleton. and a lot of the men take advantage of that. And then at 30, 60, and 90 hours of volunteer, you meet with them on a one-on-one and check in with them. And it helps teach them, like, it's no different than having a check-in at work. And it helps them learn that criticism and learn from it and move on.
And I think, I mean, the first time that I explained it to a resident, they said, why do I have to do this? And I said, when you have your own apartment or your own house, who's going to do those chores for you? You have to get used to doing that. The same thing with Beth is in charge of the chore list. So we want to talk a little about the chore list. And what have we learned?
Well, we've learned that the men have their own opinions about the chores. So we've adapted to the needs of the individuals in the facility right now and changed the chores, you know, to everybody who wants to help clean the kitchen. So, you know, we adapted to do that and, you know, put in new chores for bathrooms and mopping, so that everybody still has their participation in keeping the house clean. Right,
and I think that was something that I would not have had at the time to do if I didn't have interns. I would have just kept the chore list the same. But we listened to them because a clean kitchen, you know, people love a clean kitchen, and we were separating the chores, and now on the chore list it says the kitchen is everybody's responsibility, and it's really turned around. You don't see the dishes in the sink. You don't see people complaining about, is it my turn to unload the dishes? Are they dirty? Are they clean, etc.? It really has worked out well. And I think to have that experience, because whether you know it or not, because you guys are very young, you are teaching things, useful tools, to all of the residents that we have here. So I do appreciate the collaboration that we have with Marion and with UWO. To have you guys come here and get something out of this experience. Is there something else you want out of the experience yet, or is it too soon to ask? Something else you want to do?
No, I can't think of anything unless Beth's got something.
It might be too soon. I think there's another semester still.
Okay.
So.
And that's a blessing too, because we get you guys for 2 semesters. A lot of internships aren't that way, so we are blessed, and I can see the growth. You can see the growth. Just putting the show together or putting things together for the residents or talking to the residents. I keep saying sometimes the residents don't want to hear me all the time. So if they can talk to Emily or they can talk to the chore lady, because that's what one resident calls Beth the chore lady, or an Emily's service works because she does that. I just think it's totally important to do. Our show is winding down. Again, this is the end of the year, the end of 2022 in December, and we just wanted to give thanks for our wonderful community, which is truly a giving community who has supported COTS since we opened in April of this year. Our job at COTS is transitional housing for our male residents, and we do that with employment. We do that with taking care of all of their health care needs, their social needs, housing needs. We want them to get back on their feet and be productive members of the society, just like all of us are. So we really, truly appreciate all the support of Oshkosh and our donors, Riverview Gardens, our fearless leader Cindy in Appleton. Thank you all very, very much. Would you guys like to close out by singing the 12 Days of Christmas? I'm joking. I'm joking. Would you like to say Merry Christmas to your family and friends?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you in the new year. So we'll see you in, this is going to be hard to write on a check, in 2023. We'll see you in January of 2023. Thank you for joining us for The Place to Be, Oshkosh.